playstyle a little bit, and they're able to be successful with it. They really like to make you play their own game, even if it's reckless and there's really not much sense to it, but it's something that they're doing.
Can Morgan a Winter's bite on? Oh my gosh, the perseverance from LMQ to keep going.
If you fall to that trap and start doing whatever they're doing, then you'll eventually lose the game against them, and they've been able to do that consistently this split.
Welcome back to our final day of the 2014 Summer Split. The teams are set up for our next fight. It's Team Dignitas versus LMQ. And a win for LMQ would guarantee the freshman team a first place finish in the NALCS. Step one, no doubt, in their master plan for global domination.
It would be a huge and well-earned accomplishment for the team. And with first place comes the first round bye.
Right.
Side selection as well throughout the entire playoffs. Plus, it'll be a feel-good story. You know, these are the new kids in the league. They played incredibly well all split, and finishing with the top spot would just be so huge. Only 11 weeks into their LCS careers, and they have already developed quite a fan following. So there will be quite a few people cheering if LMQ can close this one out.
I'd say so, but it's not all life through rose-colored windows in this match. Dignitas are at a crossroads right now. They need a win to guarantee a 4th or 5th finish to the season, and a loss would mean they drop to 6th place.
And Riv, the team have been vocal about aiming for a higher seed to get side selection in playoffs. But beyond talk of standings in playoffs, Dignitas just needs a win. They've only managed 2 victories in their last 11 games. And it's dangerous to head into playoffs with no momentum and poor team morale, because there is still a team that will be joining Complexity and Evil Geniuses in the promotion tournament, that last place team out of the playoffs.
That's right, chat. So let's get right to it with a quick roster rundown. On the blue side, it's going to be Dignitas. Zion Spartan in the top lane. Crumbs in the jungle. Mid lane is Shifter. Going wild, crazy. Woo. 80 carry is I'm a Cutie Pie. And Kiwi Kid on support.
On the red side, it's LMQ. They have 2 games today. Ackerman in the top lane, No Name in the jungle, Shaowie in the mid lane, Vasily on AD, and more on support.
Those 2 games being for them. Now EG they have to face, who's on a tear as well.
True.
But coming in, do you feel like they may have a trap game on EG, kind of focusing on the dig game?
The thing about LMQ, they're obviously wanting to win both games after that disappointing loss they had yesterday. They just need to win either one.
Just win.
And they're fine. Sounds
easy enough.
There is a crazy scenario, actually. If LMQ loses both games, Cloud9 loses to CLG, and TSM beats Curse, we would have a 3-way tie for first, which would require a playoff. That's very unlikely, though, because LMQ has to lose both of their games. Dignitas, however, has some pretty interesting playoff implications of their own. If they lose this, they actually run the risk of finishing 6th. That would happen if Curse beats TSM, and regardless of what CLG does, CLG holds the tiebreaker over Dig. So they got to make sure they win this game as well.
It'd be tough. LMQ has only lost 2 games in a row 3 times, I think. Week 2 they did, week 4 to week 5 they did, and then week 7 they did. So it's not very common for LMQ to lose 2 in a row, and they actually are sitting off a loss of Curse yesterday. So they could keep following. If they divert and champion select, that seems to be the biggest crutch for LMQ, if a team can find a way to ruin that part of the chess piece movement. Let's see what they got for each other. The game of chess begins, though. We'll see how many pieces they take out here in the beginning. No King Me's, that's for sure.
Definitely taking out Trist. That's becoming a ban in North America, at least.
Maokai goes as well. AP focus on the rest of the bunch. I casted it to the wayside. Probably going to see a Yasuo coming out here. Maybe. Shaowie Shao's on the right side. I don't see why they would ban it, actually.
A little surprised
so leave that up.
That we saw blue side casting a ban from Shifter. But
not the norm.
Yeah, you normally see LMQ having a ban that away. That gives them a Thresh ban. Kid was pretty good with it.
They dig his
Morgana's still going to be up. So, I mean, picking Braum that early, especially with Kog'Maw still available, Kiwi Kid's got that hesitant smile on his face right now. Saying, thanks for Braum, but there's a lot of stuff available.
Looks like LMQ is sticking with very warm colors right now. Gragas and Lee Sin to be locked in.
Perhaps.
I'd say they pick it. Whenever they pick the Gragas, they love the Lee Sin. It's almost like a combination. They've run it 3 to 4 times in a row when they kept picking Gragas for Ackerman in the top lane. It seems like having those 2 to hop in and out of fights as Bash Brothers seems to work out very well for them. Let's see why they wouldn't pick it up having that nicely for themselves.
Crumbs has also had many of his best games on Lee Sin.
Yep. Good takeaway there.
And yesterday, I'm sure LMQ got to see Crumbs missing many cocoons on Elise, and as well as having underwhelming Rengar play. So getting the Lee Sin out of his hands might push him onto a jungle which he has not been performing at the top of his game on. There's the Elise.
He is going to bring out the Elise. Not too shabby. He has been able to get a few kills under his belt, which keeps the jungle consistent for Dig. But their vision game has been really lackluster compared to what they brought out themselves in the beginning of the season. That cog, as we were talking about, does get picked up.
Showy Shao.
Jack getting a little scared over here.
I got so excited. He's like, he's doing Pantheon again. He's trying to kill Kog'Maw. I'm excited. Really, though.
Alistar.
Oh, baby.
Alistar. Great support for Corki.
Or is it Alistair mid? This is Showy Shao after all. It's probably support.
Oh, come on.
Being honest. But it could be mid.
But wait, so they're talking it out. Dig's seeing that as well. A bit of a flex pick on that, and that I feel like it would be LMQ diverting from what they had planned if they do decide, yeah, this would be fun to go with. But I don't think that's.
I think AP Alistair will make a comeback at some point with these changes.
At some point.
Yep, could be top lane. It took a while for people to catch on to some of this stuff. Maokai top was honestly decent before he even had this sweet new ultimate. It's just crazy now. People finally it, but even then, how long ago did that come out?
What about Riven Jungle?
Caught fire a few minutes ago.
Nobody likes Shook?
Riven's really hard, so it's harder. It's harder for it to.
It's easier to just bang your head off things.
Yeah.
Like a cow. Oh, the Yasuo picks actually goes fourth pick blue side.
Top lane as well.
Yeah, interesting. Zion Spartan's going to pick that up for himself. They actually tried to do this just recently against Curse. That was yesterday.
Didn't work.
Nope.
But they do have some synergy there. Shockwave, if they land it, is a displacement, as well as Braum's ultimate for Yasuo to get some help with that ult. Now what happens here? Showy Shao. Ziggs is banned, Lulu's gone. Syndra is a good pick. TF is something he likes playing.
Ooh. His TF games recently have been fantastic. Week 9, he destroyed both TSM and CLG. He won a combination of 14, 4, and 15 on that. It's not too shabby.
Or it's all been a ruse.
There it is.
For TF. And they're trading immediately right there for the mid lane TF. That's the LMQ team. A lot of CC when you combine the TF with the Alistair. I'm a cutie pie, should be afraid. Very afraid.
A lot of plays to be made. Zion Spartan can trigger himself or take the trigger from Kiwi Kid or Shifter. So good combination synergy coming out of Dig's composition, something they like to fight with. Dig's not really a team to take control at a dragon, to take control of something. They're very slowly snowball their lead and kind of walk up the stairs slowly on this. We'll see if they can get that into position. As we load onto the Rift, though, we're going to take a look at the voting at LOLesports.com. Right now, 62% of you think that LMQ are going to be coming out on top of this one, solidify themselves at first place.
And keep those votes coming on Twitter. Send hashtag DIGWin or hashtag LMQWin to the @LOLesports Twitter. Dignitas really has played the whole split up until this point, and it's crazy with how close the standings have been that this game alone could be the difference between the 4th seed or the 6th seed. And here's the craziest of scenarios.
Crazy
right?
me.
All right. Dignitas wins this game, right?
Scenario
that
1.
COG loses, obviously. Or no, that doesn't work. I was trying to think of a way that Dignitas would be playing LMQ in the first round, but I don't think that
I'd have been impressed if you just came up with that.
doesn't work.
All right.
The math doesn't work. It's impossible.
Unfortunate.
Damn.
In another universe, they're doing the math right now, and they're going to have it. Loading into the game, Game 2 here, Week 11 of our last day, the North American Summer Split. Thanks for joining us in-house and on PCs at home, or whatever you use. Not everything's a PC, right? Beautiful. On to the Rift now. The late game, PewDiePie. See if they can keep him safe. But can Dignitas get those little moves they need to keep themselves moving up the ladder to victory on this one? LMQ coming out with a very strong composition that can explode at 6. See what happens with Xiao's movement when he gets that.
Yeah, there's a very real risk here that Moore hits level 6, and that's when Xiao tower dives bottom lane with the help of the 70% damage reduction from Alistar's new ultimate. Something Dig is going to have to be ready for. There could be a party down there. Oh! Take it. Just do it.
It's good.
What could go wrong?
My mind's telling me no.
Look at that harass. Ooh.
Take it.
How to lose a game in 60 seconds.
I've played that before. So boot start for Xiao. He's going to be trying to dodge out and keep himself safe in the mid lane. Ooh, deep wards from LMQ. They haven't gone to do this quite some time, but they get the same treatment from Dignitas as well. A little tradey trade.
Yeah, LMQ did have that ward for where Dignitas invaded, though, so they know exactly where they are right now. But what this could show is a lane swap. Oh, boy. Lane swapping against Yasuo, or even with the Yasuo.
Dig is laughing on the screen over here. Zion's got a big old smile on his face.
Probably not even talking about the game. Probably talking about random.
How many times do you think we do that?
They're always on all chat.
Be like,
conversations.
Cutie Pie, why are your shoes off? And they're just laughing. Play your shoes on or off, chat?
On.
Good. Good man.
In case I need to go somewhere fast.
There you go. Ooh, Ackerman, he's going to want to go somewhere fast. You did that with a flash at level 1.
Not today, Ackerman. You're not allowed to stand in that brush until level 4. He tried fool Cutie Pie once, but not twice. They get the flash out of him.
The buddy system in the jungle. Let's see if No Name and Moore can get this. They don't have like instant crowd control, so when they get there, they're bound to take a turret shot if they try this. So they decide it's not the better of the idea. And they leave No Name to farm off by himself.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen this little maneuver. Ackerman's gotten 3 CS and a little bit of experience in lane, but by and large, Dig is reverting to the old 2v0, or obviously 2v1 because Ackerman's refusing to go back, but the lane's pushed against him. He can't get experience right now. This is a great start for Dig.
Yep. We said it a little bit before as well. LMQ Ackerman on Gragas is a highlight reel. So to have him shut down in this early game will be nice. Very nice. The damage coming from Shifter, but QW combos for an Orianna definitely waste the mana pool quite quick. So much.
Q doesn't even want Ackerman to be able to do double golems. It's like Dig is reverting back to an old strategy, and it's really catching LMQ off guard here. They didn't go for a double jungle, and it's hard to pivot to a double jungle so quickly. Also, actually, when I'm looking at this, the double jungle hasn't really been a jungle buddy. It's been Crumbs taking most of the XP.
Right.
Zion just now getting level 2. Jeez.
Kind of the way that Cloud9 does it when they start to give Meteos everything. Oh, tries to hit it up. Ghost onto Xiao. They get a good Tempest and Crippled down. They don't even blow the flash, though.
Teleport does get expended there for Zion Spartan. Once again, Xiao will pull early game red cards as opposed to gold cards because he prefers the 2.5 second slow to the 1 second stun, as well as the improved damage there.
So Zion Spartan went down to the bottom lane to gain control, and looks like they're actually just going to have full cover on Dragon for LMQ.
Trying to be involved. Little level 1 play.
Like it's level 1 there, level 2 as well over onto Moore. Looks like this Dragon won't be done by anybody for the time being. Cutie Pie free farm in the top lane hasn't given anybody a big lead in the section of the 80 carries.
Definitely not yet, but I'd say that the Kog'Maw will scale better, so
Yeah.
the more they can get farmed, the closer it is to benefiting. Aha.
Oh, Kiwi Kid. Vasily by himself, but not for long, Jat. They got a party coming down.
Do they ever? I mean, if Ackerman can't get farm in lane, he's going to try and make a play. He doesn't have spells, though.
I think that level 2 Gragas ult.
Yeah. What a weird game right now.
This is LMQ's adjustment. They're saying, well, we don't have map pressure. We actually have to make Dig react to our pressure, however we create it right now.
They're hoping that that happens, but there's a Kog'Maw on the top lane doing whatever he wants. And they're such low level that this Dragon itself is a little bit dangerous. Depends how well they can do the Dragon aggro juggle and peel for a fight. Dig wants to push them off of it, and every time they get peeled off a bit like that, take more damage.
Ooh, Crumb's getting very hurt right here. No Name close to getting hit. Oh, he goes to the ward. Can Tempest come up enough? He doesn't have it. Not enough energy, and he just misses the first Blood Sonic Wave.
Nice little sidestep by Crumbs there.
Very nice.
And so much time is being expended here. Where McCutie is farming. It's going to be about whether Dignitas can make it away again.
And that's,
dash, and does he have W?
Big point. Jump to him. Oh, he probably didn't have it yet.
He doesn't have his stamp behind me yet. Or his W, which is stamp.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Those
second guess. Names. Wow. Almost had like a 4v4 going on in the bottom lane.
They're going to get it this time. Or will they? Yeah.
It's actually really great to do with an Alistar, because when you micro in and out, you have the full AoE sustain as well, because he's going to heal everybody around him. So
yeah,
nice.
Very true. They end up having to put all 5 people here to secure this dragon.
Whatever works.
However you get it done.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm a cutie pie. Oh!
Look at, he's been up here so long, he's a dinosaur now.
Who knew that could happen?
The ghost! Oh, the ghost for the no.
For the flash.
So close.
Xiao very liberally uses his ghost on Twisted Fate. It is a lower cooldown than flash, 189 seconds to 270 with his mastery setup right now.
Not fun to be a jungler in these 2v1s. You always feel so far behind.
Or a top laner for that matter.
Yeah, that's a good,
Ackerman.
That's a good point when you're the Ackerman side of things. Not having fun. Crumbs making spiders jump around. Looks like they should be able to get some good damage on the turret. With the way they're playing it, though, I don't think Cutie Pie is going to try to put too much damage onto it.
They've been denying so long. Cutie Pie is sitting on enough gold for a BF sword and boots. If he decides to go that route. He wouldn't go that route, actually. He'd be going for a Phage or a Sheen, because he's going Trinity Force Kog'Maw.
Right, it's Cutie Pie.
I am telling strange tales that are sometimes not true here. No BF sword for Kog'Maw.
The avarice for Zion Spartan in the top lane, so he can make some cash monies. He's had a little bit of trouble with the buddy system. Not as much as Ackerman, though. He's definitely faring better in that case. Ackerman making sure that he has protection in this top lane. Gets himself a regular vision and a pink ward. He's going to lay that one down first, figuring that he can guard it for the time being with his lane pushed up. So LMQ with some good moves to push around Dignitas to get a dragon back in their favor. And also trying very hard, as we saw the Destiny and the Ghost being used immediately after. LMQ wants to keep that going if they have the advantage. They think they do.
And it seemed like Dignitas was doing very well early on with the lane swap, especially the first time they prevented LMQ from doing the dragon. However, when we look at the farm now, somehow, not really sure how it happened, but Vasily has more CS than Cutie Pie. So either that was Cutie Pie missing some CS in the top lane, or just some really studious farming from Vasily. It kind of neutralizes that edge that they were hoping to get of the lone Kog'Maw on the top lane, because Vasily was kind of participating in all the dragon shenanigans.
Right.
Yeah. Means LMQ's got a lead.
He's definitely closer to his items as well. Cutie Pie's picked up the Mana Crystal and 2 items for the Phage coming in for Vasily. So the fight could be even better if they try to get something out of that. Let's see where they match up. This is the vision here for Dig. You can see slowly playing it. Vasily is popping in and out of the bottom lane. LMQ was hiding in the Fox Force so nicely. This is going to This is going to be a blue refresh to Xiao. Also ultimate down. Fast fingers from No Name to make that happen with Xiao.
Really nice team play there. They knew they had the shifter flash down from before. Xiao had the flash. He made it happen. He had 2 points in his W at that point, actually, so he pulls gold instead of red. It also makes it easier for Lee Sin to land his Q.
Cutie Pie, one step too close just to get a minion. Hashtag not worth. Wait a minute. So worth! Hashtag worth! Wait. Oh.
Well, Braum is here at level 4, so he's going to do not much.
Get him! Gonna be able to take him down. All right, in the end, hashtag kind of worth.
Perhaps.
Perhaps worth.
Time will tell. However, they give a kill to Vasily. Cutie dies, misses out as an experience. Kiwi Kid's got the majority of the Dignitas gold now, though, so that's good. I think.
Zion Spartan going hard.
Didn't really do much.
Ackerman said, yeah? All right, let's bar fight. He's like, wait, my keg is empty. Give me a second. Taking a break. Looks like action in the top lane. Whoa, when they see this, Crumbs did not know. Maybe No Name was right there. Jack, you said Crumbs were missing a few flash cocoons lately, and another one coming in for this. They may be able to make it pay off, though. Whoa, making the best of a really bad situation to start off.
That is exactly what happened. It wasn't the cleanest of ideas. The counter gank was there from No Name.
Yeah.
But it's that pesky Kiwi Kid always showing up in these random situations and pulling off an advantage there. Uh-oh. Oh, whoa! Chow ports early.
Wait a minute. He's going to have his time with Cutie Pie in the bottom, too. Crumbs, a very nice Houdini escape there. Getting double aggressed on. LMQ's in a great spot to keep going on this turret, though. They usually keep going, even if they don't get something out of the first attempt.
They know Cutie Pie has no summoners.
Yeah.
They also know what happened last time.
Get him! Oh! Punches him right in the mouth. One more hit. It's going to get him locked up. Oh, they connect the Winter's Bite.
3-0 Kiwi
It
Kid.
doesn't matter that he's headbutted away. Kiwi Kid coming up huge this game. The 80 carries going back and forth, but that's an awesome fight of dodging skill shots between Corky and on the Cutie Pie. Now to Kiwi Kid and more. More headbutts him away, but Kiwi Kid wants
They're coming around the back.
more of the fight. This is going to be Shifter coming in. The dissonant slow locks him down. Kiwi Kid 4-0 on the game. He shakes his head no, but inside his heart says yes.
Absolutely. He just had to throw in that last chunk of damage to take the 4th kill for Dignitas. Let's take a look at the gold here. 3,400 gold onto Kiwi Kid with the 4-0 record.
There was no need to throw that out. That's how to say
no.
that. That was funny.
Only Kiwi would do such a thing.
It's like, good thing Shifter
that
came
might
around.
come back to haunt him. Braum doesn't exactly scale. He'll be super tanky, that's for sure. But he's not going to be getting too many more kills.
But we said the same thing happened to Crepo last game. He's got to keep being a menace, though. If he stops being a key factor and doing the Kiwi Kid roam, which is something we also talked about, is this man is omnipresent.
He provides so much pressure for Dignitas.
Yeah.
Enemy teams always have to account for Kiwi Kid, and if they don't, this happens. We just saw Crepo nearly take over game for EG. Kiwi Kid's doing his best to do so again. Always just finding himself in the right place at the right time. 4-0 Braum. May as well pick up a Kindle Gem.
Heck yeah. Get that cooldown.
Get that face of the mountain as quickly as possible. He'll be getting that next item most likely.
LMQ. I think they're going to be all over Dig now. They know they're falling behind a little bit in the aspect.
Well, they know all the gold's on their support, so as
Yeah.
long as Kiwi Kid's not there,
Right.
they can aggress. Whoa!
Thank you very much.
Guess who's here?
Wait, Kiwi Kid walks right away from the fight,
Yeah.
allowing the kill to go over. Now Shifter is starting to get some money under his belt. Cutie Pie still doing what he can by himself as LMQ wreaks havoc on the top side of the map.
With that last dragon that Dig got, though, it is a very competitive game right here. Cutie Pie wants some help. Dignitas seems a little bit hesitant, but they're going big right now. Zion teleporting in from the back.
Oh, Moore's down. They should focus Vasily on this one. Beautiful job by Dignitas to see where the low-hanging fruit is. But wait a minute. They start to get the spread on. They can slalom behind the turret. There they go. Pick it up as the unbreakable will falls off of Moore, as his ultimate is called, and they're able to get the kills.
Dignitas starting to get a lot of momentum here. Could they get their first turn of the game? The farm in the mid lane is pretty respectable. This could be Dignitas coming out of their slump.
Definitely would help. 2 games lost previously to Curse and TSM, needing this one here at the end of the split versus LMQ to solidify that position they're so looking for and not be 6th. 7-2, 15 minutes on the clock. We start to get some turrets dropped in this game, not just the top lane ones now.
Yeah. LMQ not looking super organized right now. It was a big question coming into the Super Week for LMQ because they had all those off-the-field distractions. with ownership disputes. But they looked so great against TSM in their first game of the week, and they just needed that one more win to close in on that first place regular season ending. Dignitas, however, putting up a fight. Absolutely.
Interesting. Xiao getting what he needs for now at least. He had enough for Seekers. So he goes back. Knows this whole roam of Zion Spartan might come into play as well quite soon. We saw Zion on his Italy doing big thing. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking in the end. Retracted statement.
Yeah. What? Here they go.
However, the fight onto Ackerman. It's a never give up situation on Ackerman in the top lane. When he gets the Gragas, it has spelled very bad things for their opponents, and Dignitas won't have any of it. Now aggression to the mid lane. Crumbs trying to be Houdini once again. Can he get out for a second time? Now the box was locked.
Gank for gank, but one is a gank with the turret. The other one may be able to be defended by Shifter. There are 4 LMQ people in the mid lane right now trying to push down mid.
One up top. They'll be able to trade that one. This is easily going down, so they can second tier this if they want to go for it. They have wards to clear out on either side to make it less of a risk. Looks like they're just going to deny some camps here. Might
Still a very close game in the gold department.
Yeah, it is.
But we look at Ackerman, because of the early laning, he's really been set behind. And Zion has actually been able to pick up a few sneaky kills thanks to teleports and a gank by Kiwi Kid. Because Kiwi Kid does that too. It's really been a nice finish here for Dignitas on the early game strategy. There's a slight misstep, but you can tell it's putting LMQ off tilt. They're having to play back to the game they were playing months ago. Oh, man.
Oh! No! He probably just saved himself with that. No, they get the boat. They get the concussive blows on.
Just go for him now.
Good choice.
Passive or enough.
Good choice. Sometimes you have a little too much fun to get yourself into trouble. They pulled off at just the right time there. Dragon at 138. A lot of Dignitas focusing now on the top side of the map here as Crumbs. He's just farming bot lane. Don't worry about him.
Boots of Mobility Braum is pretty fast. Making presence known in every lane.
Weird. LMQ's kind of in a position where they have to give up all this very, very hurt structure on the outside of their map.
All 3 turrets for 3.
Yeah.
So the game really opens up now. Boots of Mobility is on
farming.
both supports. Moore will still be a pretty tanky guy with his Unbreakable. He's only level 7 though. Needs a little bit more levels just for the natural health scaling of Alistair to kick in.
I'm interested to see how Moore plays that. He's usually a very, very good at baiting and saying, oh no, I'm out of position. Look at me, I can be killed. And then he always puts it into a great fight for LMQ. Oh no, look at me, I'm out of position.
And here comes No Name.
No Name was a little too deep though. Wait a minute. Could have been a bit of miscommunication. Ackerman was a bit too far off. Moore throws down the ult. Here's the fight. They get him back in. Moore feels comfortable enough to just waltz in, and they're going to disengage on this one. Not too much used. Moore did have to throw it on that ulti, but they get Cutie Pie's heal out as well.
It would seem that LMQ took the worst end of that fight. Dig now coming in. Zion Spartan has everything. Kiwi Kid is pretty healthy. And the Dragon is spawning right now. LMQ is not in the best of positions to defend this, especially with no ultimate onto Moore's Alistair.
And that's something I was going to say. I'm going to see very interested about how he uses it. Once it's down, the team can pretty much run right through
how are they going to walk
what you provide.
They're going to try.
Crumbs with an easy smite onto this one. Do they turn to fight? Wild cards come out, blocked a little bit towards Zion Spartan, but he does not have a way to initiate. Last breath on this. Kiwi Kid looking to make some more plays for the team. Just off the edge of that one. So a good Dragon coming in from Dig. They regain control. They have a wave to push in the top lane, so everything is just feeding into their favor right now. And they have the time to push this slowly. LMQ really doesn't have any moves to make.
It seems like it. I mean, this is the Dignitas special. You know, they pull ahead early on in the game, and they just win when they're stronger in team fights because Shifter is so good in team fights when they're ahead.
Right.
Always finding a way to stay safe and finish people off. Considering they also have Kog'Maw versus Corki as far as late game scaling goes if the game does get drawn out. Only at this point LMQ substantially outplaying Dig.
Yeah.
Feels like that's what would stop it from being a Dig victory.
And the way this one played out, Shifter doing a little bit better than usual. Xiao usually has a pretty good gold lead at any point on his opponents, but they're evened out here at 20 minutes, 180 on both sides. Very close to that Zanya's being created. So there's the good and the bad with the Zanyas. You're jumping into a shockwave if you don't hit it fast enough, but Xiao's playmaking with that really could be what LMQ needs right now. It's gonna be tough. Kiwi Kid waiting again. Can we gank somebody? Can we get more kills? I'd like some money. That's what he's saying. He's by himself. Nobody's even near him. What is he doing?
Hey, do not question the kid right here. He's always in random spots. That's the thing. That's why teams cannot keep a handle on him. It's not like, oh yeah, every game he has this pattern. He runs through this brush. And no, he just goes where he wants.
He walks forward the only time he could be hit by a wild card. There we go. Wait, I think I saw something. The double take was great. So you can see the fresh wards placed in Baron Pit here from LMQ, dictating what's happening right now in the game. We're on chapter Baron, 20 minutes in. Whenever you play LMQ, that comes a little bit sooner than usual.
Yeah, 21 minutes is the danger Baron. It's when it's doing so much damage to you that it's an extreme risk for a collapse, more so than 40 or 50 minutes into the game. So if they're posturing around Baron here, they either need to not be contested at all or to just get a catch in the jungle.
AD carries, same build across the board with that Zanya's being finished now.
That was a Baron Scout TF ult.
Destiny.
They are a little bit paranoid about what Dig can do here.
Two piled up.
They don't have a scrying orb yet either. Those wards are not going to be lasting very long with that pink ward in the middle of the pit. Yeah, Dig knows that LMQ is out of vision checks right now. The Lee Sin ward was just placed, and the TF ultimate is down, so it basically has to be a face check. They thought LMQ would be a little scared to do so, but they were not, and they hadn't set a trap.
So now they've traded it off. They pull Ackerman out of the bottom lane. The teleport can now come to the Dignitas fight. Ackerman uses his. There it is. Instantly, Zion Spartan wants to come into the fight, and a great lockdown. Ackerman's out already. No Name gets pulled back in from the shockwave. I'm a Cutie Pie and the rest of the team are beautifully throwing in all of their damage from the outside of this fight, just making LMQ turn away from it.
The Braum shield right there from Kiwi Kid really nullifying that Gragas ultimate. And they're all super low now. Dignitas does really want to take this Baron, but 22 merit Barons, remember, they're scary.
This is a bad idea. Yeah, we've seen Ackerman coming in with home guards before. He decides to only throw out one cup for the team. We'll save the rest for later. So 23 minutes in, LMQ successfully stops that. But Dignitas is also successfully kind of dictating what LMQ does here. Ackerman wasn't able to stay bottom for that split push, so they're considering Dig's power here 23 minutes in.
It was a very scary moment for LMQ. They were getting dictated to, and the Baron was a very real possibility, more so losing a fight. The fact that they didn't suffer casualties and didn't give up the Baron is really, really good for them. They need to be able to find the right types of fights. And even though there is that whole Kog'Maw versus Corki, there's also a Twisted Fate in this game who, when you hit 6 items on Twisted Fate, is just really scary in almost any situation.
You just get that pop factor.
Pobelter called
Peer
him
and kill.
Yeah, Pobelter called TF the best late game champion in a post-game interview after their victory. Earlier this week.
Definitely the ability to make plays, start things on your own. Bring yourself a teleport to the game as well. That never hurts. Being able to be all over the map at once. 36,000 to 35. Teams again stare each other straight in the face as Cutie Pie tucks his tail in to dodge that sonic wave. No Name is still on the back. You can see him trying to make these plays with Ackerman. That's the dive buddy composition that LMQ loves to run if Xiao's not being the first one in. Zion Spartan's going to cause an altercation here in the top lane. LMQ has to answer. It's going to be tough to get to those turrets.
Especially with Xiao standing guard on Twisted Fate. With all the other turrets down, LMQ's done a very strong job of turtling. Kiwi Kid hasn't been able to find any of the catches he was earlier in the match. But Dig is just hoping to keep a slow bit of objective control going here. This might be a fight here.
That's a hit up. That's what I was talking about. You're either coming in on the ultimate.
Where are they going to go?
Shifter still has a nice shockwave to be used. Wow, the Q dissonance, huge
Runway.
damage.
Oh no!
Here we can get
Oh,
it.
no.
Oh my God, he hits a beautiful ultimate after the command protect. They're still going on a Xiao Wei Xiao. Shifter flashes in, a very dangerous thing to do. Zion Spartan eyes locked on the Xiao Wei Xiao, and he secures the kill. Cutie Pie's now running with crumbs. Very low on the HP. He hits a fadeaway cocoon. Can Cutie Pie follow up? He does not have the damage. Zion Spartan goes for a third Q, but can't finish it off. The ultimate's already been used, and Dignitas takes a bit of a lead there.
And they turned that fight around right onto LMQ. Xiao Wei Xiao tried to get the start, didn't do any damage, and then Shifter came in big with the damage support. Check this out, they try to go right onto Kiwi and Zion, but the wall blocks the gold card, so they didn't take damage there. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And then Kiwi Kid is so low, and the ill-advised headbutt from Moore to keep him alive, only baiting the rest of LMQ in for the pain. Zion Spartan is able to finally dash all the way through for the kill, despite some fancy footwork.
Yep.
After that, just big fail on the initiation from LMQ. It's a wonder they got away, only giving up 2 kills and a dragon.
Oh man, things are gonna get explosive now. Zion Spartan finishing up his Infinity Edge. He's looking at practically no armor being built up yet on the other side. It's gonna be good times for him. Dignitas, a nice surge there, just across the board, not even for Zion Spartan. And finally, it's not just Kiwi Kid getting those kills. He still participated in 9 of the 10 that they have. He's been a menace, starting off that one with a nice Glacial Fissure on Xiao Wei Xiao trying to Zanya's in. We said it was going to be hard for him to make those plays on Twisted Fate this game with the crowd control he's facing.
So much CC on both teams, really.
Oh God. LMQ has some nice wards out here.
Silly staying as safe as he can. His CS advantage is pretty large over I'm a Cutie Pie this game, actually. But the itemization is not really eclipsed yet with just an extra pickaxe on Vasily.
Yeah, I like this. A lot of Negatron cloak buys coming out here with the Zanyas being finished. The catch potential being zeroed out here by a lot of Banshee
They really
fails.
want Banshee Bills, yeah.
Yeah.
The Banshee Bills will be able to get popped by Vasily's rocket spam and extended sieges, but as far as picking people out of the blue, the Banshee's Bells are really important. Oh man!
Ooh,
Damage.
that's vision. Blowing the flash as well. Dignitas commanding respect from LMQ right now as they control their jungle. They're gonna say, let's do this Baron dance, gentlemen.
This one's a lot safer, right? It's 27 minutes in now. They do a lot more damage. They have a lot more innate tankiness. And again, if Dignitas would have laid in wait, they could have got something. Misses the fissure.
3v1 Cutie.
Baron's
Kiwi
getting
Kid.
lower. This is
Doing some
becoming
work.
really dangerous for Dig.
4,400 HP on Baron. It's gonna be back up to full, already to 10K without being hit up.
No Braum ultimate either.
Kiwi Kid did a good job of holding off quite a few members though. LMQ, they were able to circumvent that defense and find their way into the river, so Dignitas has to back off. Both teams with a chance to really take control of this game, and we haven't seen what happens when LMQ gets to the turrets. Ackerman has that Lich Bane. They have the potential to crush these down.
Whoa.
Hey now!
This is unexpected, but somehow Dig doesn't have vision control. The TF ultimate is a double scout right here. It should probably tell Dig they let the Baron. I can't believe they let this happen. This is an LMQ Baron. Dignitas probably can't make it in time. Wow.
Baffling.
It really is. Dignitas had such control over that area to not lay wards during the retreat. That sucks for Dig right there. LMQ back in the game. They're still down in gold.
This can't happen. Dig, if they lose a little bit, they try to push themselves into too much. Kiwi Kid, a good job backing off on that. Dignitas is going to have to save face somewhere else right now with bottom lane to see if they can do it.
Dignitas still has fantastic teamfight potential with the Yasuo and an Orianna. Those are two absurd damage dealers in fights.
Doesn't look like they get bottom. Good rotation here from LMQ. They've held out so long at this second tier of turrets. They've been there since about 20 minutes, holding back Dignitas from taking anything else other than kills. It's 10-3. That hasn't given Dignitas the ground to take down inhibitors. 46,000 to 43, even with that Baron. So LMQ is still behind in gold, which means those items aren't necessarily finished up for the second core items. It's kind of why we saw Dignitas going for the Banshee's Veils, being so far ahead they can throw in the defense right in the middle of that offensive build. Looks like That will help. Ackerman gets his needlessly large rod, 1,500 gold sitting on Vasily as well. See that he actually went with Zerker boots, so they're not going to be getting the magic damage as much out of him.
Definitely not. And this seems like one of the Barons that LMQ is going to use mainly to farm. They want to regain control of their own jungle objectives and hopefully take a dragon. The duration of this buff will overlap with the next dragon respawning, so if they can get some vision control around that dragon area, they could equalize the gold in this game, or at least their feeling of power, because they know how far behind they were. They know they're down 10 kills to 3, and they've been getting pushed around for quite some time.
It's like a patch things up Baron.
The Baron buff gives them enough temporary power, so they can get some permanent power if they outfarm Dig during the duration.
All right, let's see how long this Band-Aid stays on before they tear it off. Looks like it's very close for Azania's as well in the hands of Ackerman. He can start making plays. You can see how the gold has fluctuated throughout the game.
Yeah, it's still been Dig just crawling ahead and ahead.
Right.
That big dip right when the Baron was taken. We'll see if that continues to trend downwards for Dignitas, depending on how well Dignitas plays without Baron.
So far, the Vision game is the one to be played here. Dragons in 20 seconds. I don't know if LMQ would even pressure themselves to be taken down there. Need the gold for it. Dignitas has pushed up quite well. Dig can't do their 1-3-1, so they're going with the standard split push, the 1-4. See if they can get any pinches.
Oh, shower shout. That's a really bad spot to be in. Any flash over the wall?
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, that's real tough right there. Kiwi Kid goes way too far!
Oh my gosh, Vasily's back into the base in a huge misplay on Dignitas, wanting to get a little too much out of that.
Sometimes with Kiwi Kid, you take the good with the bad. He made so many plays early game, but that type of crazy mindset can lead to trouble.
And LMQ, they have an inkling that this is happening here. They say Dignitas didn't get what they want. They're probably trying to take Dragon. That's ours too.
And the worst part is that was pretty much a maximum bounty for Kiwi Kid because he was a 4-0. So that's a lot of gold that goes back to LMQ when you add this Dragon on top of it. This is pretty much going to equalize the gold. Yeah. All right, so this was Xiao Xiao getting caught way out of position, but he's able to Zanya's right there, and then he's just close enough to the wall to flash over. As far as, oh, there's a fight. As far as flashing goes, as long as you can flash more than halfway over a piece of terrain, it will put you on the other side. That's why that flash was such long range.
I feel like the tri-brush wall doesn't apply to that.
Sometimes it's really difficult.
10-4. LMQ make good moves. And they don't even do it with a lot of kills. They only pick up 1 kill to do all that damage they just did. Dignitas wasn't able to pick up anything back in LMQ's base. So now they're a bit on their heels. And the perseverance of LMQ to turtle this out and just keep farming the waves that have been in their favor. I mean, look at this. 319 now for Vasily to Cutie Pie's 234. We were saying that they were pretty even earlier. Not this time.
With that Infinity Edge, the amount of power they have at this stage in the game could actually be advantage LMQ. Dignitas needed this win to give them a very good chance at getting 4th.
Yeah.
But if they lose here, they run a big risk of dropping to 6th if Curse can beat TSM in our next game. LMQ as well needs both wins if they want to remain the #1 seed. Needs 1 win to guarantee them top 2. So both games very important for LMQ here.
Oh. LMQ's quick surge there, they go back and they get some elixirs for themselves, trying to do a nail in the coffin fight here and make something a real big impact.
I wonder if Kiwi Kid's aggression is going to be hampered by that last overplay. Where he just, I mean, he went a little deep and then he got headbutted, then he got Lee Sin kicked.
Right.
So he went really far from home.
They're getting their coverage back. I'm going to say he's going to play Fearless. That's the way he does it. He just keeps going in. I say it quite often, but my favorite quote from him is, "I have mobility boots. I think I'm going in." It's just like, what does that really give you?
This split push by Ackerman, though, speaking of just moving fast, is pushing that bottom lane pretty quickly. And Dig would be hard-pressed to find a smart initiation on top of this turret, but they're going to try and get as much damage as possible here.
Talked a little bit about that.
Bad spot.
Haven't seen Ackerman add a turret yet, so he can drop those quite fast with the Lich Bane.
They get Vasily.
They want the turret as well. Vasily's able to get out quite fast. Beautiful job on giving him some crowd control release, and they're going to be able to turn this fight around. Vasily gets a play to the Root King. Zion Spartan goes down as he's on the outside wreaking havoc on Dignitas. He's forced to come back after being dodged out there, but it looks like they go for a 1-for-1.
Wow, for such an aggressive dive. The Glacial Fissure actually landing on Vasily seemed like it would be fatal, but he was able to Valkyrie away after the knockdown, after he got the brunt of the damage and still not die. And then diving against an Alistar is so hard to move through. Let's just take a look at the very start of this fight, of course. He gets it onto both of them. And they tried to combo, but he was valking away. And then you can see more locked down PewDiePie and Crumbs on the way in. Really close fight, that's for sure.
So many skill shots to be dodging in these fights, it's ridiculous. We had like 5 things to watch in that one. Nice job, Cameron, guys. 36 on the clock. Still looking for Dignitas to powerhouse their way through with the composition they have. LMQ, however, they're thinking differently.
They have the exact Baron timer. Dig knows it's up right now, but they didn't have the exact Baron timer. Now they're trying to run in and make a play. What's more gonna do? Oh, they want PewDiePie. Oh, TF all down and a bunch of health.
Hey, yo.
That was a really, really good flash by PewDiePie.
Whoa, I like what they're thinking. The buddy system, Zion Spartan, he is too many auto attacks away. They're gonna give him the ultimate. They're so deep though. How many people have actually been able to follow them? Shifter Sombreros, the ultimate. He does not get the Ori ult off. LMQ starts to turn this one around. Crumbs is the focus. Kiwi Kid's now gonna get hit up. One more shot from Vasily, but he actually saves himself. Oh, face to the mountain, and he's gonna stay alive. Vasily's tunneling for the kill. He finds the long range rocket shot. Crumbs is running for the hills on this one, and he might have to find a turret for breakfast.
Oh,
No Name's gonna pick up the kill onto this. That was a very unfortunate turn of events in the use of ultimates.
Be another Baron for LMQ as well. Is this actually happening again for Dignitas? They could lose a big lead to LMQ right here. Let's take another look at this fight. Xiao Xiao looked dead to rights. Another great ultimate by Kiwi Kid. But Zion was so far ahead of the rest of his team, and a pulverized by Moore, while Zion Spartan's there to just fully lock him up, and the sombrero there by Shifter. Couldn't get... was it the range that broke on the Orianna ult?
When Yasuo jumped in, he had a few seconds to realize it.
Yeah, he broke the range on the Orianna ball, so he thought it was on Zion, but it was actually on himself. And once that was gone, it just meant LMQ could unleash pain.
To Shifter's credit, that is such a hard thing to consider when people are flying around and there's particle spam. But still, that would have been a huge ultimate. Rabadon's, Zanya's, everything else behind it.
The worst feeling in the world. Just like, we got the best shockwave, guys! And you see the animation around yourself. Oh my god, what have I done?
LMQ getting the vote, 74% now. 38 minutes on the clock, and they now have a 6,000 gold lead. They are pressuring every time they get the chance. And with that one, they now have another Baron to work with, as you said, Jat. Last time they used it to farm, this time they're going to use it to make an impact.
And Xiao Xiao is getting closer and closer to that 6-item Twisted Fate. Once he gets the Lich Bane, you can kiss anyone who gets hit by a gold card goodbye. Because he'll be following up with the wild cards and pretty much bursting them down.
Crumb's trying to play the Fog of War cocoons. Gets warded out right away.
Yet another dragon for LMQ. So this gold is really swinging back in their favor. They were down so much until they're able to just grab a Baron that Dignitas had abandoned. And then some really close team fights as well. Just pulled them back in this game. It's kind of a miracle comeback if they're able to do this. You so rarely come back from the type of deficit that LMQ faced in this game.
Boom.
Well, that's one down.
Wow. Crumb's not going to be able to get up too
alive.
far. He can repel to Wraiths. He chooses to go down. Down to the ground. Kiwi Kid's going to be the next focus. LMQ on a tear here. They're going to be focusing PewDiePie. That's Vasily getting in close. They cause Shifter to Zanya's right in the middle of that thing. Moore gets it on the outside of a match range. Pulverized with the flash happening from Shifter. And they completely wipe out Dignitas from the mid lane of the map.
And Riv, they even have minions. Only PewDiePie alive. This is probably game for LMQ.
Perfect placement of their wave coming down, whether they meant it or not. It's going to be straight to the Nexus turrets. What a back and forth game coming from Dignitas and LMQ. It was the Barons that allowed LMQ to stay on top the whole time. Coming up just on 40 minutes in our last day of Super Week. LMQ focuses the Nexus, and at 13-11, LMQ takes down Dignitas.
What a comeback there by LMQ.
Say that again.
This victory secures them a top 2 seed in the LCS. And they just now have to beat EG to guarantee themselves that #1.
They defied the thoughts of many teams across the LCS that LMQ would be a middle-of-the-pack team in the North American LCS. Man.
Poor Kiwi Kid, a big embrace by Vasily. He played his heart out that game and just had a few poor calls near the end. And that is a broken Dignitas right there. After having such a lead, to then just get ambushed by the LMQ team. Who not only plays well with the lead, but plays well with a deficit, which is the mark of a top-tier team.
LMQ knows it's their ability to know not to fight. When they can't do anything, they know not to fight. Like I said, they stayed at 3 kills for the majority of a good 15 minutes of that game. Then when they did get that 1 kill on Kiwi Kid, they took down the bottom lane, and then they started to push that lead. Also, the Baron mishap was huge in this game for Dig. They moved off, and LMQ, they moved right in.
And they just took it right out from under Dignitas' noses. It's the darndest thing. Dignitas, what does that make it? They're now 2-10 in their last 12 games. And that was their final game of the LCS regular season. So now they cannot have more wins than CLG. So CLG holds the tiebreaker against them. No matter what, the highest Dignitas can finish is 5th. Because they would lose the head-to-head to CLG. However, if Curse wins, Dignitas drops to 6th.
And Curse is playing TSM.
And would most likely play TSM. So that's a tough situation for Dig to be in. After having so much of the split either at or tied in 1st place, they have gone on quite a fall here near the end of the split. Even though they looked great at the start of that game.
It did look really, really good. Everything they were doing, the early game plays, we got another 2v1. We got to see how they resorted back to that, which seems like it played to the wheelhouse of Dig. We kind of said that. LMQ wasn't ready for Dig to start dictating all over the map early. But then we saw LMQ, 5 bunch bottom, like 9 minutes into the game, and they said, all right, there's too many crazy things. We need to create the pressure, not you guys. And there was a lot of pressure to be had throughout the whole game. We want to know a little bit more about it. So to walk us through LMQ's victory, let's send it over to the guys at the analyst desk.
Thanks, Riv. A huge comeback for LMQ to keep the dream of 1st place alive. As Jat mentioned, with that win, they are guaranteed a top 2 seed and a 1st-round bye.
LMQ are looking really good. We've been saying this, you and I, Aiden, for the last couple of weeks now. LMQ look like the top dog in North America. They've been consistent. That's the #1 thing throughout. They are consistently a very strong team. Their in-fight shot calling is very crisp, and this makes them the best team in North America.
Yeah, to give an example of how consistent they are, they have been tied for that top spot 10 out of the 11 weeks this split. It was only week 2 where they had a little bit of a fall off, and then they just bounced right back. And the fact that they're going through all this turmoil and psychological pressure with the things surrounding the team, and they're still coming up big, is a huge testament to their mental fortitude as players.
As our challenger casters, you two actually have a lot of insight into LMQ as a team. Does this speak to the strength of the North American scene and the way it's developing with the amateurs as well?
Well, absolutely. I mean, part of this, it's easy to poke fun because LMQ obviously came over from China. They didn't necessarily grow up in the North American challenger scene, but you are seeing teams that dominate the amateur competition immediately become ready for the LCS, and we've seen that with these guys here. We even saw Complexity honestly put on a pretty good show through Super Week, right? Took out a couple of pretty good games as well. So yes, the guys that come up from the challenger scene, they do translate pretty well into the professionals, and we see them take games because of it.
Yeah, and I actually want to clear up a little misconception here. People always talk about LMQ was 6th over in the LPL. They didn't actually use Vasily or Xiao Xiao at the time. They were subs on the team, and they regarded the people that were starters as better players. It's kind of like one of those Jeremy Lin situations where you get the person in, and it's like, whoa, they're actually fantastic. And then they added Ackerman when they came over. So this is not the same team that we saw placing 6th in the LPL.
Right. It's a new team coming together, and they've obviously gelled phenomenally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the basketball reference there, by the way. Now let's take a look at Dig, right? Because this is a veteran team who is seeming to struggle here at the end of the season. What is going on with them?
You want to do it?
I think people are just finding out their style. Dig's usually been like, let's do vision control over and over and over again. And we talked about at the start of the season, the mid of the season, when they were around that 1st place spot. And there was actually a fantastic Baron by LMQ off the backing of Dig that had no wards when they ended up backing. They didn't place them and basically just hand it to LMQ. I think people have found out their strategies and bought more sweepers and swept more wards.
Yeah, and teams have done a really good job of figuring out Dignitas. I also think that Dig have a really bad problem in late game shot calling. Their fights especially are really haphazard. You saw one of the examples where Kiwi Kid gets like a one-man ultimate off of Braum, and basically the Yasuo, Zion Spartan, just goes into Fog of War, into basically knowing there's 4 guys around the corner, and is like, yeah, I'm going to Yasuo ulti one guy, and goes like, wait, this is a horrible idea, I shouldn't have gone for Twisted Fate after all, dies at the very start of the fight. And this happened multiple times where there's just a really bad focus and really bad cohesion for Dignitas' team fights.
When it comes to the champion picks, let's take a quick look at them, because we saw the Alistar come out for LMQ. Immediately, Dig responds with the Yasuo Orianna. Now, do you feel that they went too far into the let's counter the Wombo combo, keep Yasuo away from Xiao Zhao and things like that, that it ended up, kind of backfiring on them?
I think so. Zion Spartan tried the Yasuo yesterday, and it didn't work out at all. And I think they tunneled too hard on that, because you can't give Xiao Yasuo when you have a Gragas top, a Lisa in jungle, and an Alistar support. It's basically a death sentence. So they were cutting their losses. But the lock-in of Orianna at the same time was something that was a little confusing. But I guess they wanted to give the Yasuo another shot.
Yeah, I don't think Yasuo by nature is a bad pick. I think this could work for Dignitas. I think we're more seeing the fact that Dig are in a slump than their picks are bad. I actually like the team composition, the ability to say, yeah, we're going to start up with a Braum ulti or start up with an Orianna ulti. The problem is the Ori ult's missed, or Zion Spartan will go on a really bad fight. But those champions should work.
All right, well, let's jump into a replay, and we'll see kind of some of the mistakes that Dignitas made. We're going to go 36 minutes into the game. Zyrene, I'm going to let you take this one. Dig chooses this engagement. Why does it not work out for them?
All right, this is one of the fights that I think Freak was actually talking about. This is the...
I believe they're going to run up mid lane.
They're going to run up the mid
engage.
lane. It's going to take a little bit here. Kiwi Kid goes hard onto Xiao, and watch where Shifter ultimates this fight. This is a really big part of it, because Zion ultis one person, Xiao, and then the ultimate from Shifter is actually on himself here, hits nobody, doesn't get that damage off in the fight, and then they are just all stragglers at the same time. Xiao would have gone down a lot earlier, people wouldn't have chased him as far, and then they could have collapsed, and they wouldn't have had that damage output from the wild cards. And Zion Spartan, he got picked off by a stray wildcard at the end. He wouldn't have died in that engagement if that hadn't have happened.
That's true. One thing I want to point out as well was Ackerman's ultimate there, because Dignitas had sort of slinked into the fight. I'm not getting the right verb for that one. They kind of one by one walked into the fight, really sort of lackadaisically. And when when Cutie Pie finally did show up to the fight on Kog'Maw, Ackerman knocks him right back out. And so you've got the Yasuo who separated himself, and then like Crumbs comes in late and Kiwi comes in at the time. The AD carry's gone, so there's no damage left, and the Shockwave's already missed. And so you've got this like beautiful separation that Dig basically gave LMQ, but then LMQ, of course, executes the fight properly.
They definitely seem to struggle to get grouped up and take the fights together. Even there, where they chose the engagement, they clearly weren't all on the same page. And we're going to pull up another replay, which is the team fight that ended the game, where Crumbs gets caught out. Again, late game, they're not together. Freak, if you could take this one for me.
Yeah, so in this case, just watch LMQ's target culling, right? They've completely all in the Elise. He's going to be repelled up and just goes down by himself. But they wait around for it, right? They don't get out of position. They don't wait around. And dive in, and they go one target at a time. Kiwi could get stunned up. They go for him next. Then they group back up. Now they know they're far ahead, and they're going to wait around the Zhonya's Hourglass. They know they want this kill. Great headbutt pulverize. They dive in for the Orianna. Gragas shows up as well with body slam, and they go one target at a time as all 5. When someone Zhonya's or repels up, they wait and say, this guy's still dying. We're not letting him get out.
Yeah, we always talk about LMQ's team fight prowess. It's their shot calling on one person, the abilities that they use. They aren't afraid to use multiple ultimates to get one person out of the fight, because they know that damage output is put immediately to 0, so they can continue it on. They do a really fantastic job of setting that up, calling targets, and then ending the game, and being really aggressive without hesitation.
Well, so now LMQ only has one more game left to play to lock up that first place spot. What do they need to do to patch up their early game there, where they seemed a little bit off kilter?
I mean, it's just the difficulty with early game is it's never got perfect vision, and this is why we're seeing so many top teams play really slow early games. They're just playing risk-averse with their junglers. They say, well, we can get deep wards down to spot your ganks, but counter-jungling might not pay off. This gank might not pay off. You saw that with Kez. He ganked as much as humanly possible and couldn't quite convert a lot of kills. And it's this weird mind game of guessing. Where's the jungler? Is this going to get counter-ganked? And you honestly have to play an educated guess. And a lot of people just say, you know what, we'll just farm the whole time.
Yeah, it's a timing thing, but if he's going to gank you level 2, you're kind of like, who does that? It's not
sure.
Season 2 anymore. Yeah, going into a match against, I believe they play Evil Geniuses later on. Evil Geniuses coming off of a win, and that's going to be something they have to keep in mind. Crepo had a really great showing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were watching that game and trying to figure it out. EG had really good vision control, too. And got to think, are they going to whip out another Protect Kog'Maw comp? LMQ has ways to deal with that. You saw the Gragas barrel to get Cutie Pie out of the fight. So their early game, they got to just try and dominate the lane like they normally do. Like Xiao's farm is very consistent for a reason. He is always just trying to transition from early to late, and it pays off just like we saw.
Now, we're running into a little bit of a funky situation for the 4, 5, and 6 slots going into the playoffs. Given that Dignitas loss, we're facing a situation where if Curse wins against TSM and CLG loses against Cloud9, they're all going to be tied in record, but the way that the tiebreakers break down, Dig is going to fall to the bottom. So what does that mean for them now that they're going to be facing a different matchup than they may have planned for going into the playoffs?
Well, this is the weird thing for Dignitas. You heard Jat talk about it after the game. They're 2-10 in the last 12 games. They're maybe falling down to 6th place here. The best they can do is 5th. Again, a team that was tied first for a while. I think ultimately what you have to do is say, Dignitas, you're so lucky you've got a couple of weeks until playoffs start, because they need some time to just buckle down, fix things. Scar actually said that their previous loss to Curse was his fault individually. I ran into him and he's like, yeah, that game was all on me. The wins I'll take credit for. The losses, those are on my fault. So I think Coach Scar is going to kind of buckle back down. These guys have to figure out what their team fight calling is and then come in a couple weeks later with a solidified strategy, a solidified plan, and everything worked out.
And also the fact that Cloud9 or TSM are going to be in that 3rd place spot. I'm actually probably going to say it's TSM because Cloud9 are playing CLG, and I think that their shot calling is a lot better on Cloud9 than the patchwork CLG we're seeing. So Dignitas versus Team Solo Mid, Dig actually owns that 3-1. So they don't have to prepare as much. They can kind of go back and watch their replays against TSM in their recent matches and say, this is what we need to do because we've been doing it right for a while now.
Well, so they definitely have some bigger picture stuff to work out as a team, given the fact that they've only got 2 wins in their last 12 games. But I guess they can rest on the confidence of we own this matchup against TSM.
Well, the problem with that, though, is you got to think back to when those wins came in.
Yeah,
right? It's not like they went 3-1 with them the last week or so when Dignitas started falling off. So you have to keep in mind what Dignitas you're going to get, just like what CLG we're going to get when they get back in for playoffs. Are they going to be back and gelled together? So really, like, if Dig ends at 5th against CLG's 4th, I don't know who's better at that point. We haven't seen a good CLG in a while. If it's Dig 6 against TSM, which TSM is it? They're not doing very well either, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot of slumps going on right now.
Let's look ahead now at the 2nd place seed at Cloud9, right? We just saw LMQ play pretty well, but if Cloud9's going to kind of, I guess, contest for that top slot in North America, what do they need to do to dismantle that LMQ team that we saw team fight so well there at the end?
Cloud9's actually had LMQ's number for a lot of this split. I believe the head-to-head matchup is actually 3-1 in favor of Cloud9. So they actually, Cloud9, last time we saw them, all of Season 3 and, last series as well, they have really good team fighting too. They pick their fights a little bit better than LMQ, is what my opinion is. And last time we saw them go head-to-head, LMQ tried to whip out a poke comp strategy, which was completely against what LMQ were known for. They're like, let's go hard, let's go ham, let's go in. Poke comp doesn't do that at all. So I think that Cloud9, LMQ might just play right into their hands again.
Yeah, we'll see if that ends up being sort of the playoff final there, right? Cloud9's only game left here is Cloud9 Electric Gaming, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, that's, I think, a pretty easy win for Cloud9. CLG throw chaos into the mix, but we still see teams come out on top. I am looking forward to that playoff match, though. These teams have both. So LMQ stayed at the top of their game. C9, I think, has resurged, sort of a return to the top of their game, and so that's going to be a match really worth watching when we get to it.
Cloud9 seemingly having an easy win. LMQ, though, people would have argued playing EG later today is an easy win. However, EG is now 4-4 of their last 4 games. Let me just reiterate that for clarification. 4 wins of their last 4 games. So they're looking really great right now. Is this going to be a game that EG can take off of LMQ?
Actually, yeah. EG are 3-1 super weak. Unfortunately, because Curse got enough wins, they can't make playoffs no matter what. But this is EG finally making that surge. And they honestly look pretty darn good. Crepo's been stepping up. The whole team's been doing great. So, I mean, EG really could win this match.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, they haven't taken a game off of LMQ yet, which is a little concerning at the same time, but EG look in great shape now. So in the present state, EG with their morale up, with their players in top form,
right.
I think it is very possible that they could take a game off of it. And LMQ, they got to study up. They got to study these EG teams.
Yeah. One thing I like about EG as well is that they're kind of relaxed now. They know there's nothing they can play for individually. Anox went up and said, so do we have to really try for this game? And it's like, yeah, of course it matters for LMQ, so we're going to go for it. But he was telling me, like, I really want to play insert champion name here. He told me I don't want to spoil it. But
7th place, the dream.
But yeah, right, they're locked in. So I think they'll still try, but maybe they'll have a bit of fun with it. And I kind of want to see what happens.
Well, we had Pobelter and Crepo on the desk, and they said they aren't going to take this game lightly because they know it has implications at the top end of the table. So we'll see how that game plays out later in the day. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sitting here and talking about this game with me. Gotta love it. Keep it tuned right here, though, because we've still got 3 matches coming your way to close out the summer split. Up next, it's Curse versus Team Solo Mid. The NALCS. We'll be right back.
They should focus Vasily on this one. Beautiful job by Dignitas to see where the low-hanging fruit is. But wait a minute. They start to get the spread on. They can slalom behind the turret. There they go. They're going to be able to turn this fight around. Vasily gets a play to the root pick. Zion Spartan goes down as he's on the outside wreaking havoc. They cause Shifter to Zania's right in the middle of everything. Moore gets it on the outside of a match. Reigns pulverized with the flash happening from Shifter. And they completely wipe out Dignitas.